Scholars, welcome to the Counselor's Office. I'm a Gaming Counselor, and we're going to jump right into it. This is going to be a first impressions of Halo Campaign Evolved, based on Halo Combat Evolved. And the interesting thing is, by the way, I guess I should adjust this since my webcam is overlapping the other webcam. We streamed Legendary, and we streamed for like 16 hours total Legendary, playing the new mission, which you're watching some gameplay of the new missions. Also, for some reason, the recording Halo gave me black borders around, so I don't know what's going on with that, but whatever. Talking about the first impressions, just overall, the new missions, and just kind of give a general short video. I will do a brutally honest review going in detail. Overall, I want to start by the aesthetics. My general thoughts are this is the best Halo's ever looked, with some caveats. But again, I have some criticisms. One of them, and you're going to hear this in the brutally honest review, is that when you're playing the new missions or the Covenant missions, it looks all right with the style. But when you get to the Forerunner structures, it feels way too chromatic. Someone used that term, and I think it really fits the problem with this game. Is it's way too chromatic. There's too much chrome. It's too metally. It feels weird. Like in some regards, it screams Unreal. Even though this is obviously made Unreal, it feels like it's Unreal assets versus your custom made assets in Unreal. In fact, it was even there was parts like in the library, the first part, they completely changed it, but they made it worse than the original library in that regard, because everything felt like it was a metal maze made in Forge, with the hallways and the copy paste. It felt like I was playing a Forge map in Halo Reach, except it was way too metally. And then later in the mission, the environment actually changed and it looked better. But the chromatic aspect for the Forerunner, all they had to do was tone down the chromatic style. It didn't need to look that chromy. I don't know, maybe it's a preference thing, but it was not necessarily frustrating, but visually it was kind of like a bother to stare at the Forerunner structures. The structures themselves, I think they're fine. I think they look fine. The design's all right. I do think that there's some loss in like visual. It is what it is, right? I mean, the chromatic to me was the bigger aspect. What about the gameplay? Let's back up. We're getting too far ahead. Overall, the aesthetics were great. Halo looked clean. It looked really pretty, which one thing about Unreal is Unreal can be a trap, because I played a lot of indie games in the past. When I say indie games, like this channel used to be catered to students and kids and all that jazz. And so I'd literally go to IndieDB, play indie games that was using Unreal Engine, and those would look really nice, but they just would be subpar, to put it nicely, right? And I think that's a thing with AAA, is that they think Unreal's an easy button. It's not. You still have to do the gameplay. Luckily, in this case, the visuals match the gameplay. The visuals look nice. The gameplay is great. There's still some caveats. I'll get any more picky in the brutally honest review, but there's definitely caveats in the fact that it's not. There's some glaring issues with the game design that they decided to change, or they left out, which maybe being picnicky. But I think I'm not being as picky as some people are. But as someone who's played and absorbed as much Halo in his lifetime, I'm going to be more pickier than most. But there's people that are taking it to an extreme that even I'm like, I don't know about that, Chief. I do want to say, like, gameplay wise, it feels like Halo. It plays like Halo. If you want Halo, it's Halo. If you want to be able to play with updated graphics, this is it, man. Are you going to be disappointed? I don't think so. Are you going to be a little frustrated when you notice that there's certain things missing, cutscenes, aesthetics that were changed? I think so. I think you're going to be like, where's my member berries? Like, why did you change that? That's how I felt, right? But did it ruin the overall gameplay? No, not really. Not in my opinion. I also feel like they could have completely butchered the game and they didn't. So the thing is remakes are either really easy to ruin or really easy to do. It's one of the two. It's either you do it really good or you do it really bad. There's no in between. And I think this leans more on the really good aspect, though. Except for maybe the 3 new missions, which I have some opinions on. But you want to know those 3 opinions? Check out the Brutally Honest review. It's more Halo. To put it nicely, it's more Halo. But is it good Halo? Guns feel great. In fact, we played the classic Halo Legendary mode, right? We did both Legend for Campaign Evolved and we did Legendary beforehand on Combat Evolved. And it does feel like a lot of the weapons got custom tuning. It feels like some of them feel a lot better. Like I don't remember the AR being that good. Like it was good, but I don't remember being that good in Legendary. But we were using it in slaying out on Legendary mode. I was like, okay, plasma rifles, same thing. But there were instances like the rocket that felt like it didn't do anything. Like in Halo Combat Evolved, the rocket was like the beefcake weapon. And here, rockets feel awful. They feel like they're just more for trash mobs, trash ads, whatever you want to call them. You know, the little grunts and small jackals. But when dealing with like, heavy duty elites or brutes, actually brutes do die. But did I even have a rocket launcher to deal with brutes in the new missions? I don't remember. But in the classic, the rockets. Oh yeah, you do. There's a rocket right there on the screen. Even though, so rockets just feel like they do nothing. They're Nerf guns. I feel like that is just, I don't know, maybe like, I don't remember because we literally ran through Combat Evolved and I remember blast rockets and not having much problem. Granted, there does feel like they've updated the amount of elites, which is something else to talk about. It feels like they've upgraded the challenge of this game inherently. Maybe not so. I don't know. I didn't play normal, so sound off. But base Legendary, and we played both games. The elites are far more aggressive in this game. Like they are aggressive. They will chase you, and they are tough. I think I saw more silver elites. I saw a lot more gold elites than normal. There was a lot going on in this game comparative to what we faced and when we played Legendary and Combat Evolved. So if you're wanting a challenge, this game, you play Legendary. I don't know how the other modes to play as. I've heard some chatter that they feel like it's handholdy, in which I will say, just as an FYI, this game will tag everything for you. Which I like the guns. I think but I don't think, I think I like I would prefer dots of where they're at. Kind of like how you see Sergeant Johnson in the gameplay. He has a dot over him. I think that's fine. I think having maybe that on weapons, like small dots that you get close, you see them. I hate the visual line indicator. It gets annoying when you have like 30 lines, like bro. And then the fact that it ruins it by, the gameplay by putting enemy markers. So if you're playing Legendary, part of the difficulty of Legendary is knowing how many enemies you've got left, because enemies will kill you or sneak up on you. But it's not really that challenging if you've only got 5 enemies left and they all have orange dots saying, "Hey, we're right here." It completely devoids any stealth, visible elites or enemies, unless there's more than a certain number, then they won't get marked. But overall, I found that really stupid, the markers, and then telling you where to go constantly. I mean, it's just, there's too much going on. There's too much busy work on visual indicators. Like, I like it was meant for it. It was obvious that they're trying to pull in a new audience in some way. That this is their way to try to bring people into Halo. Hey, get excited again about Halo. Come to Halo, which I think is a great thing. But I feel like these should have been options. I didn't see options turned off. Someone correct me. I literally went through on stream through all the options, trying to find it. And if I can't find it and it's there, that means that Halo Studios did a horrible job of displaying that and then showing where how to interact with changing the overlay. But in this case, I don't think it's there to be able to. I think it's default into the system. It really should have been a thing you can turn off and on. So gameplay is fine. There's some issues, like I said. Enemies are harder and legendary, like than Combat Evolved, which is a good thing if you want challenge. Like if you want a challenge, it will bend you over. It will make you a joke. Like I have yet to think about, like I have to go collect the skulls to see if I want to try lasso. That is a form of masochism. I don't know if I'm ready for, but we're probably going to do it because in order to 100% the whole game, you have to beat it on Mythic / Lasso. They're calling it Mythic, but it's Legendary All Skulls on. That's gonna be a nightmare. There's 42 skulls, so I don't know if you actually get to use all 42 skulls for this. We're gonna find out. Narrative, they kept 90% of everything that you know and love about Halo Combat Evolved and Campaign Evolved. The other 10% was stuff that they cut. Or sorry, 5% is what they cut, and the other 5% is some extra dialogue they attached to it. And I'm okay with the extra dialogue. Nothing felt out of place or awful. What upsets me is that there was like some classic taglines and sayings and things that you would expect, even classic cutscenes that were removed. As someone who's a diehard fan, it's unfortunate that people aren't going to experience them. I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to consolidate and make it flow better and make it cleaner. And they're like, some things just didn't make sense. In some regards, they did fix cutscenes, like the whole Captain Keyes and Truth and Reconciliation mission where he rams the hunters. He says time to get payback after he gets payback. And they fixed that. Now, I don't remember if they fixed that in true Halo Anniversary, but they fixed it here. And I'm glad because it makes far more sense that he says that after he actually gets payback or before he gets payback, not after. But yeah, play Legendary on this. You will have a challenge. It is crazy. I've not played the mix mode. It's just going to be random enemies spawning, which is cool. Looks like playing Firefight in the campaign. You get random doses of enemies. That's dope. I can't wait to see that. Also, you're probably gonna get a mixture of weapons, which is cool. I didn't play third person or anything like that. I'm gonna save some other criticisms, to be really honest, like what I thought about skins and all that jazz. We're gonna save that for later. I just want to focus on the main beef for this first impressions. I feel like that when they said that they wanted to try to be faithful to the original, I think they did pretty well, while also trying to put a spin on certain things, which you always have to be hesitant about, because when everyone wants to try to co-op an original thing and change it to meet their needs, usually it's shittier. In most regards, it's shittier. I think this is a mixed bag. I think there's going to be a lot of things that people like they did incredibly better. There's things that I think they did worse, but there's things that other people are going to think they're just awful. Like I've seen chatter about Cortana. I don't know why people are hating on Cortana. I'm more upset that she's not purple versus the fact she's more flat chested. I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad that she's not over sexualized. We went from her, her being platonic from the OG. No one was sitting there like gooning. Well, okay, I'm not gonna say no one was gooning to Cortana. Most people respected, like, she's a core part of the team. She's a badass. We don't give a shit whether, she has big tatas. Roll around Halo 4 and 5. She's got 343 Industries gave her the biggest kahunas you ever seen, or the biggest tata, I should say. And she's not a dude now. They may think about what I'm saying there. But now, she looks fine. I mean, she's gone through so many changes. I wish they kind of kept the trend line between Halo 2, Halo 3 vibe. I don't know. And there's also a Halo Reach version of her. I don't know. At this point, I think it's better that she's not over sexualized. But I'm gonna be honest. If you watch the same cutscene I did when you did the assault in the control room, there was a screenshot of her or a moment where she's walking by and she's got the thickest cake you've ever seen. My God. Okay, maybe not that you've ever seen, but she's got some thick cake. And I was not expecting it. Just the big ass, just walking by, and they give a good little crop of that big ass. So I don't know, like if you're an ass enjoyer, rejoice, you got some ass. If you're a Tata guy, I guess, small titties for you. But I'm not playing Halo to get my goon on. I'm playing Halo to shoot and kill shit, which is exactly what happens, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that experience. I'm okay with it being focused on that. There's some people that aren't. I think there are people who are grifting and LARPing about this game. I would say more, LARPing, as if when they act like they understand Halo, and they're like, bro, you didn't play the original Halo. You act like you're a Halo fan. You're not. And then grifting is just talking about something you have no understanding on, and trying to make drama. And I do think we saw this with Marathon, but I think it was rightly deserved. Now, I think there's a lot of criticism to be had about this game, and I'm not going to discount it. However, I do not agree that this game is woke. I saw it with the image release of what the case for this game looks like, and people were like circling the planet in the background having purple on it, like, oh my God, gay. Like, you look on the screen, the Covenant are purple. Like, this game is not woke. It is the least about woke. I would be more on board with people saying it's woke if they completely change the dialogue of the original and they try to say, they try to force an agenda. It is the same Halo dialogue. They cut it, they added a little bit, but they didn't change the core of it. This is still Halo. So I don't agree that this game is woke. It's some bullshit. There's plenty of other instances of criticism you can give, but my first impression on this is that this is not woke, that they did show a lot more respect than I expected. I expected more. I was, I don't know what I expected. I was hesitant to have any faith, though I was excited because it's Halo. Now, the first 3 missions, those are a different story. We'll talk more about that in the Brutally Honest review. But environment crisp, gameplay crisp, cutscenes phenomenal. The Flood, oh my God, the Flood are back. They look amazing. They're terrifying. There's some modifications they made. The impact of the Flood is even better. I think this is the best Halo's ever looked in terms of the Flood, and the fact that, especially when we're talking about Halo Combat Evolved, like we had 3 different variations: the original, the remaster, and then this remake. I think the remake has done so much favor to the Flood. It is a highlight for me. It is. I am so happy to experience this. It is something that I'm glad everyone experienced, especially if they don't end up making a Halo 2 or 3. Like, seeing the Flood infect the world and change it is something we saw in like Halo 2 and Halo 3. If they don't remake it and people never play those, at least they got to experience the Flood in its full, some of its terrifying forms in this game. All right, enough yapping. We have more to talk about in the Brutally Honest review, but overall, my vibe on this is like an 8 out of 10. It's a really good game visually. Everything I like. I like it. I really enjoy it. If you hate the 3 first missions, that's great. My final complaints before we wrap up. $40 for a remake, which I think I spent that much for Resident Evil, and maybe it was $29.99. I don't know. Maybe it's $40 for Dead Space. Those were phenomenal remakes. Do not regret my purchase. I feel like this is the same thing, though. Unlike those other ones where they didn't have PvP. Halo has PvP, but they removed it. It feels bad. It feels bad that they did that. It feels incomplete. They try to make up for it in other ways, but it feels still like it's missing. So you make that judgment call for $40. Is it worth just having a single player experience or not? That's up to you. Subjective, right? Skins. I hate that they are cranking out skins in this game like it's Halo MCC, but they're not free. You get a couple free. Watching Twitch, you get some free ones. That's great. That's cool, but like, I don't know, man. It feels dirty. The single player game is trying to convince you to spend $20 extra for skins. Yes, I bought it, but mostly for the early access, and that's another thing we'll talk about real quick. If it wasn't for the fact that I planned on streaming, because Halo's my baby, so I want to stream it as soon as I can to talk about it as much as I can, because Halo's my baby. If there's a game that I'll spend extra money on to stream and talk about, it's Halo. I'm not a fan of paying extra for skins or early access. You're paying to play the game on its intended date. And that, don't let anyone argue with you. Early access is the actual date. They just put a paywall in front of everyone else. This is the real release date, but we're making you pay to play even more. I hate that. I hate early fucking access. If it wasn't for the fact that it's Halo and I wanted to talk and review about this as soon as possible, I would say eat shit. Don't do it. And my personal opinion to you guys, just wait the week. Don't spend the extra money for early access. Don't spend the money on the stupid skins, especially if you're PC. Just find mods. You can get free skins via mods. You can support them by buying the game. You don't need to do any more than that. All right. Outside of that, I think it's egregious that they even spent $20 on skins. It's too egregious to me. Too egregious. They try to supplement it with 3 new missions. I don't know, man. Those 3 missions, they're not the Halo Combat Evolved experience. That's for damn sure. Campaign Evolved, I get 8 out of 10. It's faithful. It's about 90% faithful to the original in the narrative and the gunplay and the direction. There's some visual changes. There's some map changes that are 10%, and then cutting lines and adding a little bit. There's about 10. There's a 10% chunk. Yeah, I may be even willing to say 15%. But overall, I would say it was a great experience. I do not regret my purchase. I will continue playing. I had fun. And if that's you've never played Halo, try it. For $40, it's a great experience, especially if you want to play with friends. If you've played Halo, you're a diehard fan, you are 100% purist, this game is going to make you mad. You probably won't enjoy it. Now, if you're a diehard Halo fan, but you're not 100% purist like I am, like I sweat Halo balls and tears, but I'm not out here picnicking every little single thing. I know how to enjoy my Halo. I'm gonna be honest. If there's any game that they done fucked up, which after Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, I would have shit out nonstop anger at this game. The complaints I have, I feel like they can rectify. We'll see. I will be pissed if they do. They're going to do Halo 2 anniversary. If they do Halo 3, I'm going to be pissed if they fucked it up. And that you will, even if they alter it to the extent that it doesn't even feel like the original Halo 3, I will be pissed. So I will let you guys know when we ever get to that time. Who knows? We'll see. It might be several years before that. I'm Mr. Game Counselor. Let me know down below. This has been my first impressions. Anything else deeper will be in the Brutally Honest review whenever I, start typing that up. And I'm hoping to get that done, or at least something of a semblance done before the 28th release, which means I've got only like so many days. But I'll see you in the next one. Huzzah!